Hey y'all, it's Stephen Van Kampen-Lewis, and I'm just going to do a quick show and tell today. I don't know if you'll be able to pick out the plant that I'm going to highlight today, but if you picked out Mexipedium xerophyticum, or read the title of this video, you would know exactly what plant I'm going to highlight today. So I'm going to talk about Mexipedium xerophyticum, which is this little teeny tiny slipper native to, as you can imagine, Mexico. This is a really cool species that, as you can see, is very floriferous and has sequential blooms on, at least for me, I've got 4 spikes this year. And this one will stay in bloom for the better part of several months. And you can, let me see if I can zoom in a little better there. Let's see if you can see, there's a pretty good shot and a pretty good size comparison showing you how small these flowers are, but super cool. This sort of bright white, little pouches, little slippers, little pink dot there in the middle on the column. Let me zoom out again. I'll show you the plant itself is these sort of hard plasticky leaves, the sort of fans of leaves. Actually, I've got another spike here, which I hadn't seen before. And I repotted this one about a year ago. This one is one of the more bulletproof plants I think I've ever grown. I've seen people grow them in bark. They grow them in rocks. I have found that sand, basically just sand like this, it does really well. The species name xerophyticum indicates that they are from a dry environment, which is kind of true. They do grow in a dry part of Mexico, but they grow on the side of limestone rocks with seeps associated with them. So there's water coming out of those rocks just about all the time. And I've grown this one like a cattleya and it does just fine. And I've grown this one wetter than a cattleya and it's done just fine. I have found for my conditions that if I have a bunch of limestone rocks in the bottom of a plastic pot covered in sand, that this one does very, very well. And in the past year, it has just exploded with growth. It's a really large plant, and it's doing really well. It gets bright light, you can see that it's growing alongside my cattleyas here. So it's getting in fairly strong sun throughout the day, and it seems to be doing just fine. Lots of new growths coming in. You can see that the new growths are rooting down into the sand, and that was really the reason that I wanted to repot this into sand. I saw a lot of the roots from my newer growths were kind of touching the bark of the orchiata and not really growing into it, and I suspected that they were experiencing too dry of an air for our, during our summer heat and dryness here in Central Texas, at least in a normal year. So it's responded really well to the sand. Again, really cool little flowers. Oh, and this one's almost extinct in the wild. There was a paper describing how it was known from a single location, and I'll post that here. This species was known from a single location in Mexico, and a forest fire destroyed the whole area. So it was thought to be extinct in the wild. That same paper also describes that there's at least one more known location, but that might be it. These guys could be on the verge of extinction, so it's good to grow them in our collections, at least to preserve some type of, preserve these plants in any way we can. Maybe we can mix and match some of our plants and get the genetic diversity up, and maybe some folks eventually can go repopulate some limestone seeps in its native habitat. Anyway, talk to you later.